It's Friday, which means another truck news recap, and I'm joined this week by the 5-1 of the world, Jill Spinello, managing editor, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Tim Estrell here, and she's managing editor, pickuptrucktalk.com. Wow, lots of details this week. Jill and I have been talking about an hour because we have so much to discuss with you guys, and so much happened this week, Jill. I don't know of a more transformative week in truck world than this week. Is that a way to say that? I mean, wow, was this week something? So if you don't follow along these truck news recaps, you should. Every week, myself or Jill, we kind of recap the news and we give you some behind the scenes. And then we have a giveaway going on. So somebody will win some prizes this week. So we like these because it kind of gives you guys a chance to see stories you may have missed. We kind of let you know that stories are important. And we kind of give you a little more details than maybe you didn't know before. And also, I find a lot of people that listen to podcasts, which, by the way, you can download that most popular podcast downloadable apps and things like that, who are driving for the week. Those guys who tirelessly, women and men who tirelessly deliver our products and Amazon stuff. It's great for them to kind of recap because they don't get a chance to get online all the time. And I just like, I'm always supportive of those people that are on the road. Commercial drivers are really important in this country. So we're going to do this in the same order we're going to do that we've done in the past. Jill is going to go ahead and give an overview of the website. I'm going to go over an overview of the YouTube channel, and then we'll do the giveaway. And yeah, I think I covered everything. That was a solid intro. I'm giving myself a golden star.
You always give yourself a golden star. I'm going to give you a silver star. How's that?
Man, what a tough critic.
Needs improvement. And you're going to be like, why did I ask you to join me today? Right. All right. So yeah, let's start with the website. So I'm bringing up the website, and this is what our front page looks like today. And we posted today. There's a Subaru recall where essentially the rear camera image is not displaying. There's switch failure, and so I want to say it's Crosstrek, Forester, Outback, and I think Legacy are the vehicles that are involved in that. So if you own one of those vehicles, you may want to check and see if your vehicle is under recall, because it's not all model years. It's some of the more recent models. So check that out. The big news we had from yesterday was that the Cybertruck deliveries started. And so we got a few more details, and it was in Chicago, and I actually get to see it in person. And I'm taking a lot of crap for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think it looks better in person. And
no, you're not the only one. This has been a very controversial thing. I actually have watched some videos on this. I watched your video. Some people have gotten the first drive of this stuff. I've been actually paying close attention to this in the comments, and I've heard many people that say the Cybertruck looks better in person. It's not as big. No. There's some conversation that's 18 feet or 18.6 feet long is what the overall length is. And so it's the same, it's similar length to a Jeep Gladiator and a Rivian, but it's not as big as a F-150 crew cab by like 6 or 7 inches. So it's an interesting kind of in-betweener size.
Yeah, it's definitely not as big as I thought it was going to be. It's not as monstrous. And I don't know if we both watched the reveal event, but when you saw people getting into the car, it was almost like they were getting into an SUV. It wasn't like truck height. Yeah. And it does have 17.75 inches of ground clearance, but that's with the adaptive suspension. So it actually lowers for entry and exit, and it probably stays lowered when you are driving on the highway, but you can put it into like extract mode or something, and then that's when you get all the ground clearance. So I think it looks better in person. The story that we have on the website also, in addition to having all of the photos that I was able to take at the dealership while I was there, it has a picture of me standing in front of it. So that will also give you a little bit of a size proportion. But we did include some of the additional information we got yesterday from the delivery event, including some of not at the delivery event, but on the website, right. The costs. The base price, which is about $61,000, but you won't see that until 2025. And I'm guessing it's probably going to be more like 2026. So there's some details in there that weren't shared during the delivery event, but we put some of the information in there that we got. And I'm actually also currently working on an electric truck comparo. So I'm trying to compile all the specs of what we have for the Cybertruck, and then kind of mete that out over to like versus the F-150 Lightning, the Silverado, and that'll include horsepower, towing, payload, all that kind of stuff. So,
and a quick behind the scenes on this. So Jill goes down and sees it, and she sends it to me, and she's uploads the video, and I'm doing the video stuff. We're watching a reveal of the delivery event. Delivery event has like no details at all, and like a fan's emailing us stuff, but some of the stuff wasn't quite accurate. We're going back and forth on it, and Jill's texting me, and eventually the website updates, and all of a sudden, boom, there's your details.
Well, I mean, and it was like updating real time. Like it would add in like the price, but that wasn't actually the price. It was just the estimated savings. And then all of a sudden another tab appeared, and then it would give you the actual price. So at first it looked like the truck was like $49,000. And we're like, well, that's not that far off of, the promised $40,000. No, it's actually going to be $61,000. So they did that. And then they were adding in like specs, and then they were like, and Tim's emailing me, and he's like, well, I'm emailing you. Why aren't you emailing me back? And I'm like, because I'm looking at the website and the real-time updates that they're making.
No, it was just, it was totally crazy. And I'm still mystified that people went to this delivery event. They got into this vehicle. They drove off buying it without knowing the price, the length, the height. I mean, the range. They didn't know anything.
So we don't know if they got the $100,000 Cyber Beast version or the, $80,000 all-wheel drive version. I don't know that they knew either.
Right,
I mean, maybe they knew, maybe they were given the choice, but I don't know.
Yeah, behind the scenes, it was just, I've been telling you, behind the scenes, we had a lot of back and forth and text message stuff yesterday afternoon because we were trying to figure this stuff out. It was the most bizarre thing I think I've ever been a part of. But let's move along. I don't want to spend, we could do like 40 minutes in a Cybertruck, 44 hours on the thing. It's so.
Yeah, so moving on. So the other big story we had this week, Consumer Reports revealed their reliability rankings, their annual reliability rankings. And what was fascinating was they listed all of the vehicle segments. So from the compact vehicles to sedans to SUVs, midsize, compact, full-size trucks, EV trucks, mid-size trucks, all of the things. And the bottom 4 categories were all pickup trucks. Those, according to Consumer Reports, are the least reliable vehicles on the road. And some of it has to do with electronics, because when you look at it, the oldest truck on the road right now is going to be the Ram 1500, which that's pictured. And it was redone completely in 2019. So that's relatively recently redone, and it's had refreshes along the way. But so that means you have all of the updated technology, Apple CarPlay, wireless, this and that, and App Connect, and all of those things. So that was definitely a pain point, but there's still some issues with powertrain, transmissions, that kind of thing, that are bringing the truck reliability down. So we kind of dig into that a little bit and talk about what is the best of the worst. And the best of the worst is the Ram 1500. That has the highest customer satisfaction rating, as well as the highest reliability rating, which is ironic because Stellantis in general does not have good reliability ratings. So I think that's kind of interesting. And, if you are a Consumer Reports fan, or if you follow them at all, just know that they do road tests, but their reliability ranking is based on customer feedback. They don't look at a truck and say, I don't think that's going to be very reliable. They actually base it on what customers have said the problems are. And while they don't break it down by engine, trim, that kind of stuff, you have to take all that with a grain of salt. I'm not going to come punch you. There is no assault here. You have to take it with a grain of salt. And if you see that the Chevy Silverado is not reliable, you need to visit forums and kind of dig into that. I think that was the gist of the story there, is you have to figure out exactly where the problems are. Is it with the diesel engine? Is it with the V8? Where are the problems? So
and behind the scene, I had some issues with the story, and Jill and
he's like, I'm ready to counterpoint to the reliability. And I'm like, there is no counterpoint to the reliability, because the rankings are what the rankings are.
I will just say this, that Consumer Reports loves vehicles that have been on the road for a longer period of time. If it's
they can collect more data on it.
Right. And one of the quotes from Jake Fisher, who was making the media rounds, was that the sedans have proven to be most reliable, but they're not being updated very often. And the thing is, full-size trucks are getting the most newest technology starting first, because they can hide some of that R&D cost and the profit of the trucks and the price point there. So I had a lot of concerns with this article. We had a lot of back and forth, and like I said, it basically comes down to the older the vehicle is, the more reliable it is, the more the bugs got worked out. That's what the synopsis I got from all their reporting.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing: when they're looking at reliability ratings, like they're looking at the last 3 years of data, and so when you look at the 2022 or the 2024 Toyota Tundra, like that was all new in 2022. So, and it's still getting some of its bugs worked out, and it had huge problems in its first model year, as Tim can attest.
Yeah.
So that is actually one of the least reliable trucks in the rankings and the least recommended because, it had issues that they were working out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, again, I just want to give you guys a little taste back and forth. Jill and I had some good discussions offline, and we had some back and forth on that, and I was a little fired up that day anyway. So
you were,
okay,
you were, and I was like, take a chill pill, go take a walk. We'll come back to it. I'll rework it. We'll have more conversations. So that's that. I think it's an interesting look at the industry in general, and the fact that trucks aren't reliable is interesting. Okay, so. Also, the Chevy Tahoe and Suburban were revealed, and the big news there is that the diesel engine is going to be in all of the trims, including, Tim?
The Z71.
So that was a complaint of ours in the past, and if I remember correctly, they were like, well, the front end isn't designed for a diesel. And it's like, why would you do that in an off-road truck? Why would you do that?
Yeah, so I actually was at this event, and the event was actually a month ago. They delayed releasing the story because of the UAW strike, which I thought was really smart on GM's part. They didn't want to put this information out while the strike was going on. So now the strike is settled, and so they put the information out. And I was standing there, and I kept going back in my video to the Z71 having a diesel. And one of the engineers walked up to me. He's actually the guy with the deep voice. I always forget his name. He's a great guy. I love hanging out with this guy. I'm not great with names. And he said to me, he goes, we have all this new stuff that you covered in your video, because they're all standing there listening to me do my video. And he goes, but you're right. The big news is that the Z71 Tahoe is the diesel. And their story is that the way the front clip was done with the Z71, they couldn't fit the cooling lines in for the inline 6 diesel. And my complaint is they designed the diesel about, I don't know, it came out maybe 6 to 9 months before the Tahoe came out from the refresh. And so it's like, you have a brand new engine you created, and you have a whole new refreshed vehicle, a whole new front end, and nobody thought to kind of put those two together. And Z71 off-road and diesel, that's really cool. And I own this diesel. I love this engine, this powertrain. So I was, but he looked at me and goes, yeah, you kind of got the big news item here today. You nailed it. I'm like, oh, great.
That would be it.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of pictures. There's information, interior, exterior design changes. So if you want more information on that, you should definitely check it out. But one of the big news items released this week, also on embargo, and Tim and I both drove the Toyota Tacoma before Thanksgiving, but it was embargoed until this week. And so we have our, as you can see, our first drive review, as well as Tacoma by the specs. And it's like, I think Tim literally just cut and pasted all of the specs and was like, bleh, and he just barfed it onto the screen. So,
love me or hate me because of that, but I didn't want to hold back any detail. If you want to know what option came with what, or what the exact turning radius is, boom, it's there. It's just every little detail, and it is far too much. I should have, as Jill points out, I should have cut it down. But it's number 2 trending story, so I don't know. Maybe it's doing all right. But yeah, in the story, I mean, I wrote the story, and Jill and I both drove it, and I don't know. We had a good day, fun day driving around. We had a lot of banter, and I had to cut some of the banter out in the video because it's just like, okay, all right, we need to stop talking. We need to talk about the vehicle. But I'm such a great. To me, it's a grand slam. Like I mean, besides the manual seats, maybe the clutch and transmission a little bit. Getting that worked out a little bit more. I mean, my goodness. They just did such a great job on that. And I can't wait to get mine, which is what I announced on Tuesday's special edition of Livestream.
Yeah, without fanfare. He was just like, and I'm getting a Tacoma, but let's talk about the drive and handling. And I'm like, wait a minute, you just said something really big there. And you're like, just going to gloss over it? Like, what the heck? Seriously?
I might have done that. Jill, the third story there is about your amazing experience driving from Indiana.
Yeah, on the third trending story. So this is actually an opinion piece posted on Monday, and it's about the charging infrastructure. And so Tim and I have very strong opinions about electric vehicles. And I know you on this channel also have very strong opinions about electric vehicles, i.e. you hate them. But I don't hate them. I actually want them to succeed. And I think that there's a lot of really good EVs out there right now. And I was driving a very good one. I drove the Genesis GV70 electrified, or electrified GV70. I don't like the name. We'll say that. Just say GV70 EV. That would be more of a thumbs up. And so I drove that, and I drove down to Indianapolis. I drove to my parents' house, and Thanksgiving weekend, to be honest, to be fair, very heavily traveled day, but I went on Friday. So it wasn't like I was going on Thursday or, on Wednesday, which was the heaviest travel day. So I went on Friday and I came back Sunday night. So had a horrible experience with broken chargers, bad charging rates. The Genesis GV70 EV is it can accept 350 kilowatts. And the Electrify America in Lafayette, Indiana has a 350 kilowatt charger. And I got like 60 kilowatts. And so it wasn't taking all of the power that I could get. There were only 2 chargers that were working on my way back. I waited in line 2 hours. 2 hours. And and people were like, well, why didn't you just keep driving? And I'm like, because there is nothing else between Chicago and Indianapolis. So if I didn't stop there, I was not making it home. I was going to have to go find a wall outlet somewhere and plug in and sleep in the in the car. And that wasn't going to happen. So a 3-hour drive home took 6 hours. Totally fun. And but the point of the article is not that the problem with EVs is EVs. That's not it's not range. Range is not the problem. The problem is the infrastructure. Fix the infrastructure and people will come and buy EVs more because they're going to be operable. You don't have to fret about range. And I think if there's a charging station every 30 miles on the highway, who cares if you have to, and if it will charge in 15 minutes like it's supposed to, then okay. So you had to stop for 15 minutes instead of 7 minutes. That to me is not a big deal. But because the infrastructure is broken, stopping for 3 hours instead of 15 minutes is a big deal.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I'd absolutely agree. And yeah, she was doing stuff on Facebook about that. And she was kind of going on Twitter and stuff. And we were getting lots of responses. And it felt like it was brutal. It felt like it was pulling teeth to get charging done. And yes, unfortunately, that's what it is. All right, so over on the YouTube channel, we have my truck's for sale. I have that on top. I had a buyer, and buyer backed out. What happens? I know it's one of those things. Let's see. I think these are in order. I probably have to go to video tab. Yeah, latest. Okay, so let me go to the bottom. We have the Tacoma, like we did talk about the website. We have a couple of Tacoma videos, the pre-runner and the regular crew cab. I want to separate those. I was editing these videos, and I thought to myself, these are 2 different videos. So I edited those. We had a kind of a mid-sized week. Jill had the 2023 Chevy Colorado ZR2 in the city, which, by the way, Jill started doing a series of videos about taking big trucks in the city, and they have just been a home run, Jill. I don't know how to say it.
Coming soon, Ford F350.
Yeah, people love the fact whether you fit in the garage, how does it fit in the city parking lot? Because I think that's one of the benefits we have on this channel is that Jill's in Chicago and I am anywhere but Chicago and here in Nebraska. And so it's fun to see the differences. And I literally edit these videos just watching it and there's sometimes I'm watching it, doing the editing and oh no, don't get so close because holy cow, some of this stuff's kind of stressful on my end doing that. They are interesting videos, very interesting videos. And somebody, by the way, and you need to do this when you have the F350, they said, so if you share a garage with your neighbor and you park the truck in there, somebody was like, how the hell did you get out? It looks like your wall is next to the door.
So, there's little spaces in between, and I can open the door enough. And by the way, I'm about 95 pounds. And so my husband couldn't have gotten out.
Right. Yeah.
He could not have gotten out. But I can get out and I can kind of shimmy out and then, kind of shimmy around. But my husband definitely wouldn't have been able to get out. But, the problem is sharing a garage with a neighbor. there's two people that drive the car next to me, and one person always parks really close to the wall and gives me plenty of space. And then whoever the other person is that drives it always parks right on the center line. And I'm like, really? Really? And so like, I'm so tempted to just park the test car also on the center line and say, how you like me now? But I can't do it. I'm not going to be that kind of a brat. But believe me, every single time I park in the car and the person's parked on the line, I'm like, but no, I always park as far over as I can and still open the door and get out so that they don't hit my car. Frankly, that's the end of that story. But yeah, so there are definitely some vehicles that I'm going to tell you now, the Ford F-350 is not fitting in my garage. I don't even know if I'm going to do that test.
Well, I just want to know. Well, no, I want to see it because I want to know how far it sticks out. I want to know if it's a full like cab, like the door sticks out, the whole hood.
It may be too wide, and and I, like I said, I don't want to hit their car. And if the line parker is the person who drove the car that day, it could be a problem. I will maybe we'll do it, and I'll have an abort moment. So I don't know. TBD. I have the vehicle in a couple.
But she's done this. The Ram TRX that she had. She's had.
I did the GMC Sierra 2500.
Yeah,
and that didn't stick out by that much. It was like that much. It wasn't that much.
Interesting. So we also have I did the video on the Tahoe and Suburban. And by the way, inside that video, we talk a lot about the center or the rear seat entertainment. And I asked some questions about that because I've been a critic of that in years past. And there's some more details on the proximity lift gate, where like if you have the key in your pocket and you walk by the back door, the hatch will open, which is I don't know. It's going to be. I can't wait to test that.
Have you never driven a Hyundai or a Kia or a Genesis vehicle?
No.
So those have what they call the smart trunk.
Right.
And it's the same thing. You have the key fob in your pocket, and you can engage it or disengage it from the screen. So like you can say, yes, I want the smart trunk to work. And so then you walk up and it senses you're behind the vehicle and in Hyundai. So I don't know how it'll work in this one, but it'll say, it'll go beep, beep, beep. So you know that it's thinking about it. So like if you don't mean for it to open, you can like jump away. But if you mean for it to open, you stand there and it's like 3 seconds and then it opens and then you can load stuff in. But here's the problem that I've discovered. So living in Chicago, I back into my garage, and my door for going into the garage is right there. Yeah, so right. Like if I'm standing outside and I'm unlocking the door, that is close enough for the hatch to sense that, oh, I should be opening. I don't mean and I'm certainly there for 3 seconds unlocking my door.
Right.
And then in my old garage, not so much in this garage, but in my old garage, I had a shelf like right on that back. And so I remember, I think I had the Hyundai Tucson, and I was unlocking my door and I could hear the beep, beep, beep. And I was like, don't open. It opened. And it opened and it like knocked my shelf off the wall because the rear hatch like was so close to that. And because I had to like back it in so that it would fit in the garage. But yeah, I'll be
curious how this works because that's a massive door.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a long way to say that I think that's probably how it's going to work, and it's like the Kia Smart Trunk.
Right, it'd be interesting. So Jill did an exclusive walk around the Cybertruck in person. I made it exclusive because she's the only one that did in Chicago, I could tell, so that's why it goes exclusive. But I skipped over a video here, and it's a video I did on Thursday due to viewer feedback. I created a poll on the web on YouTube, and you guys wanted me to do a comparison of all the 2024 midsize trucks. I have either been in or I've driven all the new competitors, and I actually did all 7. I did all the midsize trucks in one thing, and the feedback's been really strong on that. And people want me to do a full size comparison as well. And I need to write something up on the website too, as far as comparing them, but I don't physically have them, which was my personal critique of myself doing a comparison, not having them parked next to each other. But it seems like you guys didn't care. You guys were like, you know what, we want to know anyways, and so. That's kind of that video came out from that. I didn't. I did it for a couple of viewers, and it's been pretty strong so far. And so I want you guys' feedback if you're listening to this, or if you're doing a podcast, or you're whatever you're doing at work and you're watching this on the side. maybe put a comment below or email me at tim@pickuptrucktalk.com. I'd be curious your thoughts. Should we do heavy duty? Should we do SUVs? I mean, we are in a lot of vehicles throughout the year. Do you want more comparisons? Do you want more stuff? I mean, and Jill and I drive different things, so it'd be good to get her viewpoint on like Hyundai and Kia, because I just in my area I don't get them, and so it'd be interesting. So again, I'd love feedback on that. So let's get to the giveaway raffle portion of this. If you recall from different truck news, I reconstituted this maybe a month ago. I wanted to do this again because I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to Jill behind the scenes, sharing details, what happened. I just like sharing this stuff with you guys. I think it's cool. I wish more channels did this. So I was giving away a bunch of hats. I have a ton of hats. I've actually gotten some out of here. I'm gonna do this all next year and hopefully clean this out. I have another whole hat.
I have hats to send you as well to give away.
Right. So and it's not just Pickup Truck Talk hats. I mean, I got Chevy hats and Ford hats, and I sent a Ranger hat. I sent a Toyota hat the other day. I mean, so I'm always sending stuff up. And then I get some products throughout the year, and I thought it'd be unfair for me just to hold on to these things and accumulate in my house because my office is getting full. So this next 4 news recaps, we'll do them all until the week of Christmas. Basically, we're doing stuff. So I have some bubble rope. This is I forget what they call the type of rope, but it expands and contracts. What's the name of that rope? It's different than a toe strap.
Like synthetic, and it's
synthetic kinetic. Is it
kinetic? I think that's what the
yeah. So it's really cool. I did a video on it. They sent me they actually sent me 2 versions of it. This is for a full size truck, and then that was for an ATV. This is for trucks and Jeeps, and it's a whole recovery kit. You get soft shackles, you get kinetic rope, and so it's pretty cool. I thought this is a really good price. This is like a $200-300 item. This is a big deal. So I have 2 of those, one for ATVs and one for one for trucks. I do have a set of 4-banger Marimoto LED lights. They sent them to me. They did not fit in the bumper of the Silverado I put on, so I thought, well, I don't want to keep them. I'm gonna give them away to you guys, because I get emails all the time. Like getting products not a problem. And then we have another prize. Is going to be this $75 gift card for other prizes. So how this works is you go to the website. Along the top, there's a tab called Raffle. It also works on mobile. There's a little pull-down thing on Raffle. You have to complete. You can complete as many steps as you want. As many steps gives you more entries. I use a computerized system. I do not claim the winners. I just press a button and shows you the winners. And so you go through, there's 7 steps. There is a keyword, gives you like 3 entries if you enter the keyword. This week, the keyword is Cybertruck. That's a capital CYBERTRUCK. And that Cybertruck is 1 word. It's not 2 words, it's 1 word. Last week's winner was James Ishii. ISHIII. You will be receiving an email from me later on today or tomorrow, probably today, or Monday. Sometimes I get caught up in different things, and I will be asking you what prize you'd like from the wall and stuff. I have a bunch of photos to send you, so I will send you that, and I will mail it to you free of charge. Here you go. Here's a hat. Here's something red. So that's what's going on for this, though. Starting next week, if you enter the raffle, I'm going to collect the winners, all 4 winners of the week. I'm going to save them up. And then we'll do a spinning wheel or something, and we'll say who's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And Jill came up with a really good idea that the first place winner will get their pick of the items. And then I'll kind of just go down the list and keep sharing stuff until everybody gets something they're satisfied with the best I can with what I have. So if you're interested in this stuff, yes, you can listen to this podcast, listen to this. You can do a Facebook thing, or not Facebook, YouTube, watch it as well. I don't care either way. Just enter Cybertruck is this week's keyword. You will be 1 of 4 entries into the Marimoto lights, the different types of bubble rope, or the gift card. And my plan is to mail that stuff out the week after Christmas, because right now it's December shipping dates and all that stuff, plus 84 weeks of winter. So I think that's what I have for you this week. Did I miss? Did I miss anything? Did I talk about that? I don't know. What anything we want to talk about that I missed?
I don't think so. I think you got it.
Yeah,
I'll give you a gold star for that.
All right, thank you. And so the only thing I would tease you with, and I'm getting better with these teasers, is after Christmas, I think, or around whatever the timing, what's going to happen is Jill and I are going to have an end of the year recap. We'll talk about all the vehicles we drove, the top news stories, top website, all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out for that sometime in December. We'll have that towards the end of the year or the 1st of January, something that round. We're not sure what family time looks like, that kind of stuff going on, but that's what we have for you on that. All right. Wow. I usually do these in 10 minutes. This is 30 minminutes. That's what Jill.
This is what happens when you ask somebody else to join. You have back and forth.
Right. That's what happens. But I think it's more beneficial. I think people get lot of stuff from this. So that's what we have for this week, the Friday Truck News Recap. Check out the videos and channel. Check out the website, like I said, at pickuptrucktalk.com. Check that stuff out. A lot of good stuff over there, as Jill and I alluded to. Lots of good stories. As always, thanks for watching. We will see you down the road.